Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the trapping rainwater problem, which is from LeetCode number 42. So let us first read the problem statement. In this problem, given n non-negative integers representing an elevation map where the width of each bar is 1, compute how much water it can trap after raining. Okay, so this is the problem statement. This is very simple. Let us now look at an example in order to get a better understanding. Now in this case, we are given height of blocks, that is elevation map. In this case, I will be calling each and every element as a block. Okay, so there are multiple blocks and each of the block is having certain height. Now it is said that rain will happen and rain will be containing sufficient water so that it will maximize the amount of water which this entire elevation map can store. Okay, so you need to find what is the maximum area of water which can be trapped inside this elevation map. That is the entire problem. So how do you calculate it? In this case, what can happen is your elevation map is 4, 2, 0, 3, 2, 5. So we can individually calculate what each of the blocks can store or can trap, and then we can add them together in order to get the trapped water. Okay. So what will be the trapped water for a block? Trapped water will be equals to water level minus the current block height into width. This will give you the area of the trapped water. In this elevation map, after raining, you can see that the water level is 4. Okay, because water level cannot be more, otherwise it will flow outside. Okay, it will not be able to store above this level 4. So this is the maximum level, so this will be our water level. So now we will calculate at each block what will be the water area which is trapped. Okay, so for the first block, it is not storing any water because it is equals to the water level. Therefore, the trapped water is 0. For the second block, you will see that the water level is 4 and the block height is 2. So the difference in height is equals to water level minus block height, which will be equals to 2 in this case. And what will be the width? The width of each of the blocks has been given in the question as 1. So the area will be height, that is difference in height multiplied by width, so it will be 2. Therefore, the trapped water in this case for this block will be equals to 2. Similarly, the third block is of height 0, and so the water difference, that is the difference in height, will be equals to water level minus block height, which will be 4 minus 0, it will be equals to 4. And since width is 1, therefore area will always be equals to the difference in height of water level and the block height. So it is equals to 4. Similarly, for this block, it will be equals to 4 minus 3, that is 1. For this block, it will be equals to 4 minus 2, which will be 2. And for the last block, you will see that its height is 5. So it will not be able to store water because its height is greater than the water level. Okay. So if you add the trapped water for each and every block, then you will find the total trapped water for this entire elevation map. Okay. So in this case, the answer will be equals to 9. The problem seems very simple to understand. So let us first cover some of the base cases as well as some of the important observations in order to solve this entire problem. The first observation is for the base case. Now, if you just have one block, then can you trap any water? You will not be able to trap water. It will fall on either sides. Okay. If you have 2 blocks, then also you will not be able to store water because the possible combinations can be this. Okay. And in either of these combinations, you cannot trap the water. In order to trap water, you need at least 3 blocks. You need blocks greater than equals to 3 in number. So this is how you can form a pocket. Okay. So this is a pocket. And inside the pocket you can store water. Because if you don't form pocket, then where will you store the water? It should not flow out of the boundaries. Okay. So if you have just 1 block or 2 block, you will never be able to store water. You need at least 3 blocks. So this is our base case. That means number of blocks should be greater than 2. Okay. Now one thing to note here is the blocks in descending or ascending order can't trap water because these type of configurations will not be forming any pocket. So this is how a pocket looks like. Because in order to form a pocket, there should be a left boundary greater than the current block height, and there should be a right boundary which is greater than the current block height, so that you can trap water in between. Okay, so blocks must make pockets to store water. This is another observation. Now the amount of trapped water will depend on the minimum boundary height. Okay, so let's see some examples on that. Let's say you want to find what will be the trapped water at block 2. Okay, the block with height 2. So in the first example, what will be the water level? First of all, you need to define the water level. So water level will be equals to the maximum left boundary, comma, maximum right boundary. You take the maximum or the two maximums and you take the minimum. Okay, so this will be the height of the water level, because in the first case, if you see here, what was the water level? It was nothing but this height 4, because this is the left boundary and this is the right boundary, and you saw that you cannot have water level 5, otherwise it will flow out of this 4. So you will have to take the minimum of these two boundaries. Okay, now in this case as well, if you have 3 blocks and if you want to trap water for this block 2, then what will be the water level first? It will be minimum of 4,6, which will be this 4. This is the water level. So this entire area will be the trapped water. And what will be that? It will be nothing but water level 4 minus the current height, which is 2. And since width is 1, so even if you multiply 4 minus 2 into 1, it will still come out to be 2. Okay. So the trapped water here will be 2. Now in the second example, the left boundary is having height 4, right boundary is having height 8, it is not 6. But still the water level will still remain the same, because it depends on the minimum of the left and the right boundary. Okay, that is why the water stored will still remain the same. It will be, the water level is 4, height of the block is 2, so it will be 4 minus 2. Right. Now for the third example, you will see that this block height is same, which is 2, and the left boundary height has increased from 4 to 6, and right boundary height remains the same, which is 8. So the water level will rise to 6. Okay, so this is 6, and the current block height is 2, so the difference which is containing the water will be equals to 6 minus 2, which will be 4. So this will be the trapped water in this case. I hope you understood these simple examples. Now, how pockets trap water? This is the next question. Okay, so this is the example which we saw. In this case, if you want to find the trapped water at block 2, which is of height 2, so that will be nothing but, if you need to define the water level, which will be minimum of 4,6. Okay, so this is the water level, and so the trapped water will be the water level minus the current height, so that will be 4 minus 2, and it will be equals to 2. So trapped water at 2 will be minimum of left boundary, comma, right boundary minus the current height, which will be 2. Okay, now what happens if you extend the number of blocks beyond 3? So let's add 2 more blocks to the left hand side of this 4, and let's see what happens. Now again you want to find the trapped water at this block 2, which is of height 2. Okay, so this block. But now you will see that you cannot just find the minimum of this 4,6 and define the water level as this one. This is not happening, because there is some boundary on the left hand side which is larger than the boundary which you had picked earlier. Okay, so what you will do is you will have to take the maximum boundary on the left hand side and not just the adjacent one. And in the similar way, you will have to pick the maximum boundary on the right hand side and not this 6. Okay, so let's see for this example. In this case, the height will be equals to minimum of the maximum boundary on the left, which is 8, and the maximum boundary on right, which is 6. So that will be equals to 6. So water level will be equals to 6, and this sounds pretty logical, right? And now what will be the area of water stored at this the block 2? So in this case it will be 6 minus 2, which will be equals to 4. Okay, now let's assume that you had another block here, and that was of height 9. So this is the block and it was of height 9. Then what would have happened? What would have been the trapped water at 2? Now in this case, in order to find what will be the trapped water at 2, you need to find the water level as well. So what will be the water level? It will be equals to minimum of the left boundary. So left boundary is this 8. Left boundary means the largest value to the left of this 2. Okay, this is 8. And the right boundary. Right boundary means the maximum value to the right of this 2, which is 9. Okay, and in this case the water level is coming out to be 8. So this is the new water level. And so your area will be this 8 minus 2, this 8 minus 2, which will be equals to 6. Okay, so the new trapped water at 2 will be 6. Now what happens if you again alter this? Let's say this was not 6 but it was 9, and this was not 9 but it was 6. Okay, so this was 9 and this was 6. You just make it 9 and you just reduce its height to 6. Okay, you just swap this. Now what will be the water which will be stored at 2? Now again you need to find the maximum on the left hand side and maximum on the right hand side. It doesn't really matter at what position that maximum is. By boundary I do not really mean the last element. There could be another element here which is of lower height or higher height. It doesn't really matter. You just need to take the maximum on the left and maximum on the right. Maximum on left is again 8. So minimum of 8 comma maximum on right is 9, which is this adjacent part. Okay, and again it will come out to be 8, and so area will come out to be 6, which is 8 minus current height 2. So if you make this height higher, make it 9, then also the water level remains the same. So it all depends on the water level, and water level for a current block will be defined by the maximum boundary to the left and maximum boundary to the right. I hope you were able to understand this. Okay, so let me give you an example in order to make you better understand this topic. So let's say you had this kind of block. This is the block structure, right? And now on the left hand side you have this kind of structure. This is the structure. Okay, so if you are finding the water stored at this point, this is let's say height 1, and this is let's say height 3. Okay, and this is height 4. This is let's say height 5. This is height 5. Then the water stored at 1 and water stored at 3 can be different. Okay, because for this 3 the maximum element to the left and the maximum element to the right will be different as compared to this 1. So for this 3, maximum to the left is 5, maximum to the right is 5. Therefore the water level will be minimum of this 5 comma 5, which will be 5. And so the area of water stored here will be 5 minus 3, which will be 2. Now for this one, the water level will be minimum of maximum to the left comma maximum to the right. Okay, so that will be equals to minimum of 4 comma 5, it will be 4. So the water level will be 4, and therefore the water stored here will be 4 minus 1, which will be equals to 3, right? So the water level can be different for different pockets. Okay, so this is what I mean to say by using this example. Now let's move on. So at any given point the trapped water will be equals to whatever is your water level minus your current height. Okay, and how do you find the water level? That you will find by using this formula, minimum of maximum to the left comma maximum to the right, as I have shown. Okay, so this will define the water level, and just by subtracting water level with the current height, you can get the area, because the width is equals to 1, so you don't need to multiply with width. Okay, so this is the formula to find trapped water for a single block. Now how do you find the trapped water for the entire elevation map? So you can repeat for all the blocks and you can keep adding the values. Okay, and whatever you find as the sum of all the trapped waters for each block, that will be the answer. That means that will be the total trapped water in the entire elevation map. Okay, so let us just see the process. How do we solve it? So this is an example which we will be seeing, 420,325. So the trapped water at a block will be equals to minimum of max left comma max right minus current height. I hope you understood this formula, how it is coming, right? Now we will move on to solving this problem. So as you must have understood, the first and the last block will never store any water, because the water level cannot be more than the first or the last element, otherwise it will flow from either end. Okay, that is why water cannot be stored by first and the last block. So we will start calculating from the second block. Okay, so what is maximum to the left of 2? We will have to traverse through this entire subarray to the left and find maximum, which will be equals to 4. Now find maximum to the right. So we will have to traverse the entire array and find the maximum to the right, so that is equals to 5. Now take minimum of these two values and define the water level. So water level will be equals to 4 for this 2. And now when you subtract this water level with the current height, which is 2, then you will get the amount of water which will be trapped. Okay, so you got trapped water as 2. So write here 2. Now you move on to the next point, it is 0. So again you will iterate for all the elements to the left, find out the maximum to the left. So maximum to the left is 4. Again iterate for all the values to the right and find out maximum to the right. It will be equals to 5. Okay, take the minimum of it in order to define the water level. It will be 4. So water level will still remain the same here. And so the amount of water which will be stored here will be equals to water level 4 minus the current height of block, which is 0. And therefore it will come out to be 4. So write here 4. Similarly, if you repeat for this value as well, maximum to the left will be 4 and maximum to the right will be 5. And so you take the minimum of this 2, it will be equals to 4, subtract it with the current value, that is the current height. Therefore the trapped water will come out to be 1. Similarly for this 2, maximum to the left will be 4, maximum to the right will be 5, take minimum, which will be 4. 4 minus 2 will be 2. And for this one, it will not store anything because this is the last block. So if you add these values, then this will give you the total trapped water on this entire elevation map. So that will be 2 plus 4 6, 6 plus 1 7, 7 plus 2 9. Okay. So this is very simple process. I hope you were able to understand this. So what will be the time complexity in this case? It will be order of n square, because for each element you want to find maximum to the left and maximum to the right. So you are traversing the entire array. So for each element you are traversing the entire array. It is order of n. Therefore for n elements it will be order of n square. Okay. Now the next question is, can we optimize this time complexity? Well, where we were actually spending most of the time, for each of the element we were required to find max left and max right. So finding max left and max right was order of n for each element. So we have to traverse the element, that is for sure, and therefore traversal will take order of n time. Therefore time complexity cannot be less than order of n time. That is for sure. But at each point, in order to find max left and max right, we were traversing the entire array again and again. So if we can just store the max left and max right, if we can just get them in lower time, that means we don't have to traverse this entire array, then obviously the time complexity will increase. So how do we do that? Now we will take the same example again. So what we will do is, we will pre-calculate the maximum to the left and maximum to the right for each index. And then we will again repeat the previous process and find the answer, and the time complexity will be highly optimized. So let us see how do we do it. Now we will store max left and max right array. So these are two different arrays. These are arrays, okay. Now for the first element, there is no element to the left, so max left will be 0 for the first element, okay. We move to the second element. We will take a left max variable, which will be storing the maximum to the left. So when we leave this element 2, then this left max was initially 0, and so it will be compared with this 4, and maximum value will be stored here, which will be 4. Now we are at 2. So in the max left part, it will be storing maximum to the left, so it will basically be taking the value from left max. It will be 4, okay. And now before moving on to the next value, left max will be compared with the current value. If current value is greater than left max, then left max will get updated. So that is not true in this case because 4 is greater. So we just move to the next element, it is 0. Left max value is 4. We will just write here 4. Maximum of 0, 4 is 4. It will stay there. Again move to 3. So left max value is 4, right here 4. Okay, and maximum of 3 comma 4 is 4, so leave it there. Now again similarly the left max value will be copied, move to the next element, and for this one left max value will be copied and left max will be updated to 5, move to the next element, and the array finishes. Okay, so this max left array is containing the maximum element to the left for any index. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now similarly we will be repeating from right to left in order to calculate the max right. So for this rightmost element there will be no maximum to the right because there are no elements to the right, and so we will store here 0. We will again take a right max variable which will be initialized to 0. Now before moving to the left, before moving to the next element, we will be comparing with right max. If right max is less than the current element, then right max will get updated, so this will become 5. Move to the next element 2. Now we will be storing the right max value here, which is 5, and again right max will be compared with 2, so it will stay as 5 because this is larger. Move to this 3, again right max is copied, so again compare this 3 with 5. 5 is greater, it will remain there. Now again it is 0, copy the right max value, again 0 is compared with 5. 5 is greater, it will remain there, and similarly repeat the process. Okay, so this maximum right, which is the max right array, will be containing for any given index what is the maximum value to the right. Okay, so by doing 2 traversals we have stored all the max left values for any given index and all the max right values for any given index, right? Now we just need to use these 2 arrays and apply the same technique as we did here, right? So let's just do it. Now in this case we will be iterating from the first element. So what will be the water level for this first element? It will be equals to minimum of max left comma max right. Okay, that will be the water level. Max left at this index is 4 and max right is 5, so minimum of 4 comma 5 will be 4, so water level will be 4. So if you subtract the current height, which is 2, from the water level, then you will get the area of the trapped water, so that will be equals to 2, so right here 2. Similarly when you are at 0, the max left value is 4, max right value is 5. Just take the minimum of these 2 in order to get the water level, which will be 4, and then subtract 0 from it in order to get the trapped water, which will be 4 minus 0, it will be 4. Now similarly just repeat it. Minimum of 4 comma 5 will be 4, 4 minus 3 will be 1. Minimum of 4 comma 5 will be 4, 4 minus 2 will be 2. And this last index anyway will not be storing any water, so first and last index will not store any water. Now just add them, and by adding them the total trapped water will be 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 1 7, 7 plus 2 9. Okay, so this is the same example which I had shown using the first technique. So this highly optimizes the time complexity. Obviously it is taking extra space, so the time complexity will be order of n. We are doing 3 traversals. First traversal is to calculate the max left array, second traversal is to calculate max right array, and the third traversal is to calculate the trapped water. Okay, so these are the 3 traversals we are doing, and the space complexity will be order of n because we are making 2 arrays, max left and max right, in order to store all the max left values and the max right values for all the given indices of the array. Okay, now can we optimize anything now? This is obviously the optimized version and this will work for any interviews. Okay, but still there is a better approach. It will not improve the time, but it will highly improve the space complexity. So the next question is, can we optimize anything now? What we can do is we can maintain the max left and the max right on the go. We don't actually need 2 arrays in order to maintain max left and max right. Okay, if you look at this example, then obviously most of the times the same value was occurring. Okay, so if you can just know this on the go while traversing, then you don't need this array, and therefore your time complexity will be improved. So in order to do that, we will have to calculate moving one pointer from the left and one pointer from the right. So this is known as the 2-pointer technique. Okay, and we will always be filling from the lower boundary, because if we are having two blocks, there might be any number of blocks in between. If we are having two blocks, one with the lower height, let's say this is 3, another one with the higher height, let's say it is 5, then obviously if we are having a block which is of height x, and if you want to find how much water it is storing, then obviously you cannot take 5 minus x. Okay, because 5 is actually greater than the left boundary. So you should have taken 3 minus x if all these blocks are of lower height. Okay. So that is why we should always fill from the lower height and move towards the higher boundary height. Okay. So it may not be clear for everyone, but it's okay. I mean, this solution is also very good. The idea for solving with order of 1 space is the same as we have done with this order of n space. The only difference is that we will not be maintaining array, but we will be maintaining the max left and max right on the go. So I think too much of explanation for this last technique will be useless. So I'll just take an example and dry run. And if you have understood the second technique, then this technique might come very, very clear to you as well. So I'll take the same example. I mean the similar example. It is not the same example. Now here I have taken max left as 4 and max right as 5. We are taking 2 pointers. Okay. And we will be converging from the left and from the right using 2 pointers. Initially trapped water will be 0. Why didn't we start with the first element? Because first element won't store any water. Why didn't we start with the last element? Because last element won't be storing any water. But we will assign the max left as 4 and max right as 5. Because for a given index we want to find max left, and for a given index we want to find max right. Okay. Now in the previous techniques what we were doing is, if we are pointing to a given index, then we were finding the maximum to the left as well as maximum to the right of the same index. But in this case we will not be doing that. Okay, we will just be comparing one side and we will be making our decision what will be the water level. Okay, so let's see how to do it. Now in this case when we are at this 2, then the maximum to the left is 4, and when we are at this right, which is 3, maximum to the right is 5. Okay, so which height is lower? Obviously this 4 is lower. Therefore according to what I said, that we will be filling from the lower height, lower boundary heights. So we will be filling here and we will assume that the water level is 4, because it is already known that there is at least one boundary to the right which is having value greater than 4. So obviously water should be 4. Okay, because on the left side you already know the maximum height. This is guaranteed. Okay, you don't know these middle elements, but you know the maximum to the left. This is accurately guaranteed. There might be some element in between which is greater than the right boundary, but that really doesn't matter. As long as you have certain element to the right which is greater than the left boundary, okay, then you can take the water level as the left boundary. I hope this is clear. Okay, so in this case the trapped water will be equals to left boundary minus the current height, which will be equals to 2. Okay, now we will move on to the next value. So left will get updated. Now again the left boundary height, which is the max left, is 4 and max right is 5. So max left is lower. Therefore again we will be filling this, and again we will be taking height as equals to 4, and so the trapped water will be 4 minus current height 0, so that will be equals to 4. 4 will be added to trapped water, it will be 6. Okay, move to the next value. This is 6 right now. So when we are at 6, we will see that the max left boundary is 4. Okay, but the current height is greater than equals to 4, and that is why this current block will not be able to store any water, because the water level will be either equal to this value or below this value. Only if the water level is above the given block size can the block store any water. But here the water level will be 4 and the height is 6, so it cannot store any water. And since it cannot store any water, we have seen a higher value, therefore max left value will now be updated to 6, and it is not storing any water. Okay, so left is here right now. Now in this iteration we will increment the left to the next value, it is pointing to 2. Okay, now what happens? Max left value is 6. So when we are at right, we will compare that max right with max left, and max right is lower. Therefore now we will start filling from the right hand side. Okay, because there is a left boundary which is greater than the right boundary. So we will take the water level equals to 5, and 5 minus 3 will be 2, 2 will be added, it will be 8. move right to the next value. Okay. Now when we are at 2, the left boundary is 6 and right boundary is 5. So right boundary is lower. So we will take water level to be equals to the right boundary, and therefore the amount of water stored will be right boundary 5 minus current value 2, it will be 3. 3 will be added, it will be 11. Okay. Now again right will be decremented. So now right has crossed left, and therefore we will stop here. We will run this entire thing as long as L is less than equals to R. Okay. And now we have calculated the trapped water. So some of you might not be able to understand this, but it is totally fine. It will take some iterations for you to understand this solution. Now the time complexity in this case remains the same, but the space complexity is order of 1. So these were the optimal approaches for the trapping rainwater problem. Let us now look at the code. This is the code for the first optimal approach using order of n space. So I have taken the number of elements, and this is the boundary case, n should be greater than 3. Okay. I have taken the left array, right array. So store the left max for each bar and store the right max for each bar, and then find the trapped water. So we have done using 3 traversals, first, second and third. And after that the trapped water variable will be containing the maximum amount of water in the elevation map, and so we will return the answer. So this is very simple. Okay. Now we will look at the second code, which is order of 1 space. Now in this case as well, this is the boundary case, and we will take max left as the first element, max right as the last element. We will take the trapped water variable equals to 0, and we will take the left pointer as the second value, which is 1, because it is 0 indexed. Okay. And right value as the second last element, as I had told. There will be one element to the left, one element to the right. We did this because first and the last element cannot trap any water. Okay, and now we will be running the loop till left is less than equals to R. Now we will be checking for the boundary. If max left is less than max right, if max left is less than max right, if we are at a certain point and max left is, let's say, this one and max right is this one. If max left is less than max right, then obviously we will take the water level equals to max left, not as max right. Okay. This is pretty logical, I think. So if max left is less than max right, then we will take max left as the water level. Now there can be 2 cases. The current height of the block can be less than the max left, otherwise it can be higher than the max left. Okay. So if the current height is greater than equals to max left, then obviously this current block cannot store any water. And that is why trapped water for this block will be 0, but again max left will be updated to this value. Okay. Because this is greater than equals to max left. So we will just update max left there. Otherwise, if it is smaller, then we will simply add the difference with this water level. Water level is max left. This is the current height, which is height at left. So max left minus height at left will give you the amount of water trapped, and that will be added to the trapped water. And left will move 1 position to the right. Okay. The similar logic goes for this one as well. If it happens that the max right is of smaller size as compared to max left, then again we will check for 2 conditions. If the current block size is greater than max right, that is greater than equals to max right, then obviously you cannot trap any water in this block, and so your max right will get updated to this block. Otherwise you can trap water, and the difference with the water level with the current height will give you the trapped water, and that will be added to the trapped water variable. And right will move 1 position to the left. So this is the entire code. Finally, you will return the amount of trapped water. So I hope you were able to understand the entire lecture. If you have any doubt, then feel free to comment below and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. I am currently launching multiple live courses in the near future. So if you are interested, then please ping me on LinkedIn or Instagram. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of these programming videos. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.